Okay, Felicia, if it's okay, I think we're going to start with translation and interpretation announcements. And if we could continue to put that information in the chat as people join, because we know it does go away.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is well. My name is Felicia Alvarez, and I am the Field Support Liaison for District 1 under the leadership of Superintendent Chan. And this evening, I'm going to be sharing with you, our families, how to access our translation services. So while I share my screen, I'm going to ask that our Spanish interpreter greet our families. Bear with me to share my screen. Okay, is our Spanish interpreter ready?
Yes, good evening. The following announcement is going to be in Spanish. Muy buenas noches a todas las familias que se estén conectando esta noche. Les vamos a pedir que si necesitan el servicio de interpretación en español, por favor marquen desde su teléfono al 347-966-4114 e ingrese el número de conferencia o número PIN 279-25-2150 numeral. Esta información está en la pantalla. Les repito, el número al que deben de marcar desde su teléfono es 347-966-4114 y el número de conferencia es 279-252-150 numeral. Si desea escuchar esta llamada en español y permanecer en la reunión en Zoom, nada más les pedimos que por favor silencien los dos dispositivos. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I will ask our Mandarin interpreter to greet our families as well.
大家晚上好，今晚会议如果想听中文普通话翻译，请拨打347-966-4114，然后请输入密码756-493-840，井号键。再重复一遍，中文普通话翻译，请拨打347-966-4114，然后请输入密码756-493-840，井号键。如果想在听电话的同时观看视频，请按静音键，谢谢。Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to include our translation services within our chat, so our families who are joining us throughout the presentation will be able to access services. Thank you again, and I'm going to turn it back over to Deputy Superintendent Mostello.
Thank you, Felicia. I am going to pass it on to Superintendent Carrie Chan to welcome us.
All right, thank you all this passing around. Thank you families, principals, school teams, and central staff for joining us this evening. Tonight is the fourth and final night of our virtual elementary school fair. Great job, guys. I think I just became really close friends with all of our translators. District 1 is a very, very special district. We are a choice district, which means that our schools accept all families across all 5 boroughs. Tonight we have PS 15, PS 64, PSMS 140, and the Earth School, and they are all here to share with you what makes their school so special and unique. I also want to share that I'm a mother of 2 children. My children used to attend the District 1 elementary school. And if I had the opportunity, I would send any of my kids to any elementary school you're about to hear tonight. They are super, super special. And I know all of you will enjoy the presentations tonight. We do have a small, intimate group tonight, but that's okay. We will be posting all of these presentations on our district website. And without further ado, I will hand it back to Christine.
Okay, so really quickly, if we're going to start off with the Office of Enrollment, who has been with us every night this week. But just before we get to that, if you have any questions, we do ask that you put them in the chat during any of the presentations, and we will get to them during the question and answer period, or if they're easy and they can be answered in the chat, we'll answer them in the chat. All right, and without further ado, we're going to go to Office of Enrollment, and tonight we have Julissa with us.
Thank you, Christine. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Julissa Roberts, and I'm an enrollment specialist with the Department of Education Office of Student Enrollment. And I'm going to go over the 3K pre-K admission processes and how families can go about applying to 3K and pre-K programs at the schools in District 1. So I'm going to take my camera off and show the PowerPoint. So, as you guys see here, families applying to 3K and pre-K, 3K for all, families applying to this program are for children who are turning 3. These are children who were born in the year 2018. And, oh, sorry about that, I should put that off. These are children who were born in the year 2018. And the application deadline for the 3K application is April 30th, and children who were born in 2017 can apply for pre-K for all, and these are children who are turning 4, and the deadline for this application is April 7th. So there are 2 ways that an application can be submitted. One is through our portal myschools.nyc, and another way is by phone. Translation and interpretation services are available through each of these paths. So we advise families to reach out if they are having challenges or difficulties accessing My Schools. And I also will drop in the chat a link which will guide families on how to create a My Schools account, as well as creating a Google account or an email address. So here is what the My School page looks like. Again, we encourage families to create a My Schools account. This is the best way to get notification about any offers after submitting the application and be in touch with any other application information or get reminders on application dates, deadlines, and so forth. So the admission cycle for the elementary admissions, it goes like this. So in the fall, typically we encourage families to explore their options by creating a My Schools account and searching programs. This would give families enough time to review and see what schools they may be interested in adding on their application once the application period opens, which leads to winter time. In the winter, families can submit their application online, by phone, and they do this by listing up to 12 programs on their application. It's not mandatory that you have 12 programs, but we suggest families to put as many programs as they like or interested in to heighten their chances of getting into a program that they're interested in. In the spring, families get their results and accept their offer and pre-register to secure that seat for their child. During this time, if families are considering other programs or not content with the offers that they were given, they can also go forth and add their child onto a wait list for programs that they may be interested in. This can take place over the summer, where they may receive waitlist offers from programs if it's applicable. So again, families year-round have an opportunity to look into the 3K and pre-K programs that interest them. What happens in the summertime, let's say if a family has a school that their child on the wait list for, schools will contact the families directly if they can offer that seat to their child. And then the school will require the information to get registered. So we want families to understand their choices. And before I go into that even further, I want families to know that they can make any changes to their application anytime before the deadline. So even if a family was to submit their application, they could always go back and make changes to that application before the deadline. So understand the choices. So there are 4 different types of programs offered. And these programs are zoned schools, non-zone schools, pre-K centers, and early education centers and family childcare networks. So first I'm going to go through the zone district school. So most schools have an area around them called their zone. And if a family live within the zone, that school is considered their zone school. Most children attend their zone school for kindergarten. However, District 1 is a non-zone district, right? So non-zone district schools do not have a zone. This means that no addresses are assigned to them. They admit students from throughout the districts and or borough. Many non-zone schools have unique features and admission priorities. For example, the diversity in admission is a factor in district schools' priorities. So District 1 is a school that provides that, and I'll further explain what the diversity in admission is. Next, we have pre-K centers. So the pre-K centers are run through the New York City Department of Education, but they are separate from district schools. These schools only offer pre-K or 3K programs. And yes, so. And again, and I encourage if there's any questions, please definitely jot them down. I'll be happy to answer them if I'm not clear on anything or if you're not clear on the types of schools. Next, we have what we call NYCECs, or New York City Early Education Centers and Family Child Care Networks. These programs are run by community-based organizations. They have a contract within the New York City Department of Education, but NYCECs do not make offers based on where a family lives. Instead, they prioritize current students in their programs and then they consider other applicants. The Family Child Care Networks, also known as home-based programs, are ran by licensed child care providers in their home. In this setting, 3K children are served in a mixed age group from children age birth to 3. And this setting is only available for 3K. So when you go into your MySchools account, these are the different types of programs you'll see. The color actually highlights what kind of program that school is. So when you look on the map, families will see green for zone district schools, purple for non-zone district school. There's burgundy red as well for pre-K centers, and the orange for community-based programs like the early education centers. So how are offers made? So families choose up to 12 programs, right? As I mentioned, they can add these programs onto the application. We ask that you put these programs in order of your true preference or what you really, really want. And your child will be considered for admissions at each program you list on your application. They will get one offer to a pre-K program you listed highest that also has an open seat. So program seats availability. Each pre-K program has a certain number of available seats. Programs vary in size and many have more applicants than seats, meaning that a program may have 18 seats, but they may have 300 applicants. If a program has more applicants than seats, admission priorities are used to make offers. And there are various types of admission priorities. Your child has a better chance of getting into some programs than others. Basically, that's what the admission priorities is. And when a program can't make offers to applicants, offers are made based on which child has the highest admission priority to attend that program. Children are considered in priority groups, and all students in the first priority group are considered first. If seats are available, children in the second priority group will be considered next, and so on. The program demand varies greatly, so various programs have different demand. Like they may have a large population of families applying to that program, And some programs admit applicants from most or all priority groups. And you can see this when looking on your My Schools account. So here is where we talk about the diversity and admissions for District 1. All district schools in District 1 participate in the diversity admissions. This admissions model gives a priority to students who qualify for free or reduced lunch, students in temporary housing, and English language learners for a set percentage of offers at every District 1 elementary school for pre-K and 3K. So students who do not fall into these categories will get a priority for the remaining percentage offers. Each year we ensure that the percentage of all of offers made for each group reflect the diversity of the children applying. And so when you go on to your My Schools account, you'll be able to see this information there on how seats are offered. So here are some resources. If families need to get in contact with the Office of Student Enrollment, they can email us at esenrollment@schools.nyc.gov. They can give us a call at 718-935-2009, or they can simply just log into the My Schools account and submit an application by creating an account. And again, I advise for families, if they want to get updates, they should definitely sign up for the email updates at schools.nyc.gov/signup. And thank you.
Thank you so much. And I just do want to emphasize a couple of points. I know it was said, but you can change your application up until the deadline. It is possible that between now and the time the application closes, additional programs will be added and announced. So if you see something and you decide that you want to then change your priority list or apply to another program, you can alter your application. And also the applications are not first come, first serve. So it's all the applications come in, and once they're all finalized, they are reviewed. So having them in early, I know we all want to get them in early, and I would want to get mine in early, but that's not what increases your chances to the program. So please fill out in order of your preference. And if additional programs come up that you're interested in, feel free to adjust your application accordingly before the deadline. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jaleesa, can you take your screen down? You're working on it. Okay, great. All right. Once we are ready with our screen, there we go. All right, we're going to turn it over to our first school. We're going to turn it over to PS 64. We have Principal Marlon Hosang, and I think he is accompanied by Assistant Principal Daniela D'Arcangelo.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. One thing about PS 64 you need to know: when we come to an event, we come really deep and heavy. So I have a big team here with us this evening. We have our assistant principal, Daniela D'Arcangelo. We have our pre-K teacher, as this is a pre-K, 3K fair. We have our pre-K teacher, Miss Lorraine Alba. Since we are the home of music and arts for young minds, I invited our music teacher, Andrew Baird, our dance teacher, Jennifer Smith. We have our parent coordinator, Gladys, here with us this evening, our school secretary, office manager, Ann Gonzalez, and our guidance counselor, Cesarina Javier, who any day now will be a new mom. So congratulations, Cesarina. We're waiting on pins and needles. So it's good to be here. Superintendent Chan, Deputy Sup Bastillo, colleagues, I see some colleagues here, friends all, families, it's good to be here. I can never get used to Zoom. I have to confess right now. I'm more of a present in-person person. So I long for the day when we no longer have to do Zoom every single day. But until then, this is what we got. So let's proceed. We prepared a brief video for you to showcase our school. I'm going to ask Assistant Principal D'Arcangelo to please put the video up, please. There should be some sound here. Can you hear the music behind? No? Should be some music.
Where children, families, I got a gratitude attitude. I got a gratitude attitude. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a gratitude attitude. I got a gratitude attitude. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are fortunate to live and work in a cohesive and caring community. Many of our students' families attended PS64 when they were children, which strengthens the school's ties to the community. I'm proud to continue the tradition of excellence at PS64, where children, families, school personnel, and local businesses work together and grow together.
My school, PS64, is a pretty special place. It was recently renamed the Home of Music and Art for Young Minds. And I think that's pretty cool.
It's awesome that we have music, art, and dance every week during the school day. It makes me excited to come to school. It's really fun.
My music teacher says by learning music, we are actually learning how to think. I just know it's fun making music with my friends. We get to sing lots of different songs and play some really cool instruments. One of my favorite activities in music class is creating our own music. Sometimes we begin by creating a rhythm using words, and then we add pitches to the rhythms on xylophones. Before you know it, we are able to create our own songs. Sometimes we even add movement to the songs. It's awesome.
In art class, we create some really great projects. We just finished making huge puppets and banners for our Halloween parade. We got to carry them down the street in a parade, and it was super fun.
Sometimes art can be kind of messy, but my art teacher says it's okay. He just wants us to use our imaginations and be ourselves. I think the mess is totally worth it.
I love that our art teacher hangs out work in the hallways, sort of like a museum. It allows all my friends and teachers to see what I made in art class.
I love the way I feel in art class. Maybe it's because I like working with my hands or making stuff with my friends. Or maybe it's because I'm allowed to just be myself and work at my own pace. My favorite part of dance is when I get to work in groups. We work together to make dances and create something beautiful.
We have always prioritized arts education here at PS64. We have a full-time art, music, and now dance teacher. And with the opening of our brand new dance studio, we look forward to welcoming you to come and dance with us.
Thank you. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed that little piece we put together for you. As the video mentioned, we unofficially call ourselves the Home for Music and Arts for Young Minds. And as this is a pre-K fair, you'll hear a bit from our pre-K teacher. But one thing I want to promise you is this, since our time is limited. Yes, you have a choice. And as the superintendent said at the beginning of the presentation, these are great choices that you're going to be faced with this or listening to this evening. in District 1, all of our schools are really, really great. What I can say about PS64 is this is I've been principal at PS64 since 2008. I've been at 64 since 2002. I started as an assistant principal. It's my 25th year in the district, believe it or not. I started as a teacher at PS 134. So I've been around, like some of my good colleagues on the screen right now too. So don't let this boyish face fool you, but I've been around, and the goal for PS64 is, of course, to provide a rich academic experience. But what I want to highlight is the music, dance, arts program that we have. And I can promise you one thing, when a PS64 student graduates from 5th grade, they will know how to play an instrument, and they will know how to bust a move, and they will know how to be great artists as well too. So that I can promise you. Let's go quickly to Miss Alba, who can just give you a quick overview of pre-K, as this is a pre-K, 3K fair, and then we'll hear a little bit from our music teacher or dance teacher, and then that might be overtime for us, but we'll try not to be. So take it away, Miss Alba.
Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Miss Alba. I'm so happy to be here. This is my 6th year in PS64, and it's the first time I'm doing this fair virtually. But I just want to start by saying, you know, I also have children in District 1 programs. 3 of them, they all went to pre-K, and PS64's pre-K program is amazing. And it's not because I teach it. It's really not. We teach from 2 curriculums. One is a scholastic curriculum, which is thematic, and the other one is called Building Blocks. It's a solid foundation of math, because math is so important. So why not start it while they're young and literally build the blocks? So quickly, I just want to go over the run through of the day, especially if you're a first-time parent of a pre-K student. So every day in pre-K looks the same. We start the day off with breakfast. Then after the children are finished with breakfast, we wash our hands and they start doing a fine motor activity. Whether it's writing their name or stringing beads on a string, we want to make sure every day they start manipulating writing utensils and use those fine motor skills. After that, we have morning meeting where we talk about our day, the weather, feelings, and our friends. We count friends, we say good morning, greetings individually to one another. After that, we have gross motor. Every day, again, we want to make sure we get our movement in and have those gross motor skills. We either go outside or we do something in the building, whether it's dance, stretch, yoga, exercise in the gym. We have another space called the blue space. We have multiple spaces where we can use these gross motor skills daily. So we're moving daily, I can assure you that. After gross motor, we have something called Big Experience. So our curriculum calls it Big Experience. A big experience is just a small group.
I'm sorry to interrupt. This is an inquiry by the interpreter. Could you please speak a little bit slower so the interpretation can be accurate?
Sure. Where would you like me to pick up from?
It's fine. You can just move forward. It's fine. Thank you.
Okay. So we do something called Big Experience. Big experience is just when the whole class comes together as a group. And as a group, we either go over something from the theme, a math or a literacy lesson. Our lessons are literally 5 to 15 minutes long. After we have those lessons, we have something called learning centers. So learning centers are literally groups of learning centers. We have blocks, we have literacy, we have math, we have art, writing. We have a dramatic play area, and children get to choose where they would like to go into those centers. And while they're in those centers exploring, myself and my assistant teacher pull small groups. So we're working on the lesson that we just had, whether it's, again, a math activity, something with the theme, usually it will be an art activity, or math. And we're working one-on-one in smaller groups, especially with the children that need that extra support. This is the time for it. So after we're in centers, we have lunch. Every day we have lunch. Again, we wash our hands, we bathroom. It's part of a routine in our classroom. After lunch, we have a rest period. Children rest, and if they don't rest, we allow them to read books. Some of the students just lay on their cots. Some of them students, they need to get up and write. We allow them to do that as well. We're flexible, but it is quiet time. After rest, we have Big Experience too. And again, depending on what we learned in the morning, we're learning something different in the afternoon. Again, a theme, math, or literacy activity. Once we have that lesson, we have another short center time where the students can go into learning centers. And again, now we're pulling children again, working in small groups, working on different skills. After big experience 2, we have center time. Center time. After center time, we clean up and we have our closing meeting. We gather again back together as a class and we just talk about our day, any questions, any concerns, any big moments that our friends want to share. We provide about 10-15 minutes for reflection time. How did the day go? Just to talk about it. We sing a goodbye song and then parents come and they start picking up their children. In previous years, PS64 did provide after school for children, so that may or may not be an option for next year, but it was always beneficial to parents. And that's a typical day in pre-K. I can continue talking, but I want to be mindful of time. So I guess I'll turn it over to whoever's next. Thank you so much.
This is overtime, I think. 30 seconds,
It-
please, Mr.
It
Baird.
is. I was going to say, I'll ask 64 to kind of wrap it up in the next minute or so, please.
Okay,
Thank you.
30 seconds for Mr. Baird to go over the music program in 30 seconds, and then 30 seconds for Ms. Smith for dance, and then we'll take questions, I guess, at the end. But Mr. Baird, then Ms. Smith. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Andrew Baird, the music teacher at PS64. I'll make it quick, but just to reflect what Principal Marlon Hosang had said, one of the things that drew me to the school was the robust music room. And Principal Hosang's been really great at supporting, building out a great bevy of instruments, from xylophones to ukuleles, to recorders, to African drums, electronic drums, even digital keyboards. So kids get to experience a wide range of experiences in music, not just from singing. Singing is of course important, but they get to have their hands on instruments, and many kids find that that's their favorite avenue for expressing themselves musically. So I feel very grateful to work at a school that has so many resources at the disposal to create a really robust music program. So I'll wrap with that.
Thank you, Mr. Baird. Ms. Smith.
All right. Hello, I'm Jennifer Smith, dance teacher, PS64. Again, the resources that are available to students at this school in terms of the arts are so vast. We just opened a brand new dance studio last year. Marley floor, sprung floor, ballet bars, mirror surrounding, brand new sound system, anything that a student would need or want to have a rich dance experience is there for them. And I just love the fact that the students are introduced to the arts and they begin learning from the very beginning of their education at PS64. We do not leave out our little ones. They are just as much included in every art as the upper house students are too. So you can be guaranteed that from the time they enter 3K pre-K, they will be getting music, dance, and visual art all the way through their time at PS64. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Apologies for the overtime. Back to you, Deputy Superintendent Mustillo. Thank you.
Thank you. And we are going to transition quickly to PS1 or PSMS 140, Principal Melissa Rodriguez and team.
Good evening, everyone. Melissa Rodriguez here, principal of PSMS 140. I am joined by our fabulous guidance counselor, Ms. Stern. Just really quickly, we are a pre-K to 8 school. So in our video, we kind of share testaments to our whole school, because we do have our 5th grade students who predominantly stay with us through middle school. Over 90% of our students stay with us. We are a solo school. We do not share a school with any other school. So that has also been something nice for families to know. We work very, very closely with our students and our families. And the one thing that I can honestly say, since I've started at M140, it is that it is a very, very happy place. I love going into work every single day. I have a stellar staff and my kids are everything to me. We do have an after-school program that works with our students from K to 8. We do have an arts program. We do have a dance. We do have music, and we do have visual arts. And we also have an amazing parent coordinator who's always working with our CBOs and our neighboring organizations to help us support our kids even further. One of the things that we pride ourselves in is that we do a lot of shared decision making. So whether it's me with the staff, me with the parents, we are very big on advocacy and our kids having a voice. So we are going to present our video now where it's going to highlight that, you know, we are very big about getting to know our students very well and making sure that they advocate for themselves and that they advocate for our community. All right, Ms. Stern, we are ready.
Is Ms. Torres. I am a teacher at PS 140. I wasn't always known as Ms. Torres when I first came into the building. And I came here in middle school. I actually came here in 7th grade. And I was really, really scared to be a new student in a new school with kids that were together since kindergarten. But if you're going to go to a school, PS 140 is the best school to come into because everyone here, not just the teachers, but like your students, the students in the building, like not just in the same grade level as you, they all know who you are. They know you by your first name. So I'm talking about like kindergarten kids that know the names of 8th graders, right? Your 8th graders that know the names of kindergarten kids. And you want to be in a school where you feel noticed or that the teachers know you by your first name and know so much about you and know all about your family, all about what you like to do outside of school. So choose 140 and I promise you that you're always going to feel special, not just one period of the day or one day out of the week, but every single day that you're in our school community. Bye, and I hope to see each and every one of you here next year.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. Glad there's one place in the world where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Elizabeth, and I'm a Lower East Side native and proud graduate of Nathan Strauss Prep PS 140. At PS 140, I had wonderful teachers and the opportunity to take music and participate in extracurricular activities at the time, like Public Color, where we painted the school, and it was because of the support of teachers and the community at PS 140 that I got the opportunity to apply for the Oliver Scholars Program, which helped me attend and apply to a prestigious school, high school in the Upper East Side, the Dalton School. I went on to Columbia University and New York University, where I received my master's and have worked for the City of New York, the Clinton Foundation, and now I'm at the United Way of New York City. I cannot underscore enough how amazing the support and community at PS 140 is. I highly recommend the school to anyone looking for a wonderful community and supportive school.
Be glad there's one place in the world where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
Hi, I'm Teddy. I came to PS 140 in the 4th grade, and now I'm in 6th grade. I decided to stay because the classrooms are wonderful, the teachers are nice, everybody knows each other, and the kids are really fun to be around with. And this school has a bunch of activities like gym, after school, art, music, dance, you name it. We have an auditorium, a lunchroom which is huge and with nice warm lunches. I'm glad I stayed at the school.
Where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
Hey, my name is Andy. I think this school would be an amazing school for your children to go to. In my opinion, since I've gotten into the school, I've seen nothing but emotional support. I've dealt with a lot of family issues at home. I felt welcome when I came to school. There's plenty of programs I could go to. Overall, it's just an amazing experience just for a kid to learn. If you want your kid to learn, I think you should choose this school.
Hi, I am Miss Foley, the dance teacher at 140. At MS 140, we have a brand new dance studio with a sprung hardwood floor, a ballet bar, mirrors, and a black curtain. The students have 2 dance performances in the auditorium throughout the school year. They also have the opportunity to perform dances in other school events. In dance class throughout the year, the students learn different types of dance like modern dance, jazz, ballet, hip hop, and multicultural folk dance. The students also work on group projects to choreograph their own dances that they perform for each other in the dance studio. .140 in dance class, the students have fun being creative and expressing themselves through dance. I hope to have the opportunity to meet you. Bye.
My name is Miss Torres. I am a teacher.
Thank you. Principal Rodriguez, you're on mute.
Sorry, so that's PSMS 140. I hope you join us. We are a great school with, like I said, very, very caring people, just like in any other school. So we hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much. All right, we're moving on to PS 15. We have Principal Irene Sanchez and Assistant Principal Laura Salmon in the house with us.
Hi, everyone. My name is Irene Sanchez. I am the principal of PS 15. I have been the principal of PS 15 for about 10 years now. A little bit about myself. I have been in this district my entire life, born and raised in this community. I started my teaching career for about a year in Brooklyn, and then I did 10 years teaching at PS 110. I was a math coach for 2 years. I was an assistant principal at PS MS 188, and then I became principal at PS 15. So I've not left this community yet, and I love it here. I love our students. I love our families. One thing that I think you're going to hear from all of us today is how much we love our schools. You know, I have to agree with our principals. District 1 has a great community of schools with leaders who really believe in their families and their students and their teaching staff. And so we do love our schools very much. And so I'm happy to share a little bit today about our school. We have videos that you can watch. We did not bring them for this session because we wanted to really just focus in on pre-K because we know we only have a short period of time. But please feel free to visit our website, www.ps15.org, and you'll see our videos there. I love watching Marlon's and Melissa's because just seeing cute faces is amazing. So please be sure to visit our website for some more cute faces. I'm going to introduce Laura Salmon. She's our assistant principal, and she's going to share PowerPoint with you with some important information about our pre-K program.
Hi, everyone. I'm Laura. Is my screen up? Can you see it?
Got it.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So we'll get right to it. The first thing that we're going to do is just introduce our school a little bit about who we are. We believe that students learn best in a creative, cross-disciplinary atmosphere where learning encompasses both thinking and feeling, where we focus on growth and discovery. And as we go up through the grades, we move toward metacognitive understanding. And we believe that in pre-K, play is the root of all learning, and that understanding the physical world, developing language, developing thinking skills all arise from play. We believe that every student is full of gifts and talents, and we're going to discover them and bring them forward. Our school culture is that of lifelong learning, and it is basically, we are what we teach. We are learners. In the pictures, you're seeing professional learning communities where teachers have chosen a topic that they want to explore in depth. They do action research. And they reflect on what they are learning about their students, and they are so that they are lifelong learners. And this is also the way that we teach our kids. We try to make sure that our kids really are not afraid to make mistakes. They grow from mistakes. They figure things out together. They test out their theories. They have conversations. So this is really the school culture that we have from top to bottom. In the pre-K, the day starts with the morning meeting. And throughout the day, you're going to see intervals of activity, which could be self-directed activity or facilitated, something that's a little bit more instructional. And you're going to see a lot of gross motor movement as well as fine motor. And these are going to be, there are going to be intervals of quiet time or rest in between. And here you can see our beautiful schoolyard. And in the other picture, you can see the tulips are being planted and they will soon be blooming. Reading and writing pretty much touches everything throughout the day. Developmentally, students are retelling their favorite books from memory. And from the pictures, and they're building a sense of story, and they're building an understanding of the alphabetic principle, that letters relate to sounds, and that marks on the page have meaning. The kids do develop at different rates, but the teachers know where their students are, and they build on their strengths and their readiness. And that really is the most effective way to go. In math, the teachers have had a lot of professional learning with Bank Street building blocks. Math also is a very hands-on activity in pre-K. They do learn to write numbers and count, but there's a lot of exploration with materials. And the kids are also developing through their play all kinds of concepts. They're recognizing patterns. They're learning to compare quantity. And once again, through play, they're really developing their thinking skills. The units of study are the Department of Education Explore units. We really like them. They have a really nice flow, a really nice scope and sequence, and it moves very appropriately through the year. So the kids are developing a sense of self and a sense of their place in the community. At this moment, they're studying lights and shadows. They're contrasting day and night and making dark pictures and light pictures and using flashlights and exploring their shadows and making beautiful collages with shadows. But as they move through the units, at the end, they end with transformation, which is just very poetic in a way, because as they're studying the hatching chicks, we always hatch chicks, and as they're watching the butterflies emerge from cocoons, they're also getting ready for kindergarten and transforming into school children, the next step up. So it's a very nice end of the year. Come on, forward. Okay. Social emotional learning, of course, is a huge part of pre-K. And our pre-K teacher says that the pre-K rules to live by are be safe, be kind, be a helper, and be happy. And the kids, they learn to name their emotions. They figure out ways to invite in the good feelings and help them last. But if they have an uncomfortable feeling, a really strong feeling, it's really important that they learn to identify and name it and find a way to work through it. And in morning meeting, they'll often have a little scenario, and the kids will discuss, what will you do? What are some things you can do if you're disappointed? How will you get through it? And actually this very week, one of the children was very upset that she didn't get to play with a particular friend. And Donna, the pre-K teacher, asked her, what do you think you can do to help yourself? And she said, I know, I'm going to make a painting. It's going to be my favorite color. And it's just this huge piece of paper that's like full of this beautiful, shiny teal color. She actually named the color teal. And it really did help her. And I just kind of feel like we all need to be able to do that and name our emotions and make beautiful teal paintings. So that's a big part of pre-K. We try to keep our families engaged and present and part of the school. It's really important. We have an active PTA. We will communicate in whatever way the parents expresses is best for them. And we try to have a lot of opportunities. These pictures that you're seeing are pre-pandemic. We hope to have it all back. You're seeing a parent celebration in this, doing STEAM activities with their children, and a parent workshop doing yoga. And arts and enrichment are really a really important part of our school, and we have a lot of partners. In pre-K specifically, there's Third Street Music School and there's Mark DeGarmo Dance, which are continuing this year virtually. And then as you move up through the grades, there's Arts for All, which is a kind of literacy social studies linked with arts. We have our own Urban Seekers program, which is a project-based learning. It's really dynamic. We do it every week from kindergarten on up. The children combine across grades and classes and develop projects. Sometimes they're social action projects, sometimes they're art related. They're really student directed, but they're also learning lots of skills and doing research and having guest speakers. And it's a really dynamic program. And we have a fantastic, you can actually see the makerspace, a little of it over on the right. We have a fantastic STEAM program, science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, and it's really infused throughout the curriculum. And actually you can see this, there's pictures here also of our makerspace. So we have a lot of resident artists. We have a lot of community-based organizations and partners that work with us. This year, they are not all here, but we expect to be connecting again next year. And some are still on board with us, and we do expect to reestablish the rest. The waterproofing is actually second grade swimming. And this is a little bit about the data. The data is all publicly available on the New York City Department of Education website. And I think, our data is really reflective of our school culture. This is specifically the pre-K data. We have a great district. All our District 3 pre-Ks are really great. We think our data really does reflect our community, that it's a culture of warmth and nurturing, but really strong inquiry and just excitement. So that is at least an idea. Come to our website, as Irene was saying, come and see. We have some films up there. Talk to us, ask us questions. There's a contact there, which we are always responding to if you have any questions, or you can email us directly. So thank you. Thank you for being interested in our district and our schools. And it's a big milestone pre-K. So feel free to ask any and all questions.
Thank you, Laura. And before I turn it over to Christine, I just want to share that we are a very small school, a small community that's really close and really tight knit. And so we welcome our families and we look forward to getting to know your little ones. Thanks, Christine.
Thank you, PS15. I would ask schools if you could also put your contact information in the chat for families. I know it was up on the screen for a little bit, but just in case they didn't get to copy it down. All the information will also be on our district website and is on our district website in terms of contact information. All right, last but not least, after 4 nights, 16 schools, Earth School is up. Principal Claudia De Luna Castro.
Hold on, it's still not letting me share screen. Okay, now I think it'll let me. Great.
I was saying I made you co-host when you first came on, but then I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But you have it now. So you're
okay,
good.
thanks. Hello, everyone. I'm Claudia. I am the principal of the Earth School, and joining me tonight are Jocelyn, our parent coordinator, and Michelle, one of our early childhood pre-K teachers. And I'm not on the correct slide. So we are the Earth School, a place to grow. And this is a picture of the rooftop garden. We're actually co-located with PS64, Marlon's building. So this is a facility that we share, which is just a very special feature that if you are able to attend one of our open houses or virtual tours, you will get to hear more about this. Oh, hold on, this is not letting me advance. There we go. So we are a progressive school, a pre-K through 5th grade. Sorry, can you guys see my full screen right now? Okay, great. We were founded by a group of teachers who held some shared educational beliefs. And these have continued to be the beliefs that govern our school and our decision-making. The first being that schools should empower students to better their communities and the world as agents of social justice and as responsible stewards of the earth and its resources. That children flourish when their individual abilities and interests are seen and nurtured. That social and emotional learning is just as important as academic learning, and that family-teacher partnership is essential in supporting a child's learning. And this is all of these beliefs are things that we think about it at every grade level. So we just have some photos to share that sort of reflect these different beliefs in terms of this idea of empowering students to better their communities and thinking about social justice and being stewards for the earth and its resources. This is an image from last year's climate march. Our entire school marched to Tompkins Square Park for the climate march. Some special features about this photo. It was actually taken by a parent, one of our very involved parents who takes lovely photographs. And there's 2 teachers actually pictured here who also are Earth School parents. One's a former Earth School parent, one's a current one. This, I feel like so much captures how we're thinking about social justice, climate change as a social justice issue, and also advocacy for the earth. Thinking about how this specifically applies to our littlest earthlings, we have a photo here of a parent who is helping our pre-K learn about composting. He came in and set up a worm bin, and our pre-K parading to Tompkins Square Park to celebrate the fall equinox with the rest of the school. These are our little ones as well at Tompkins Square Library for Drag Queen Story Hour, which they completely loved. They were all talking about it when they came back. In thinking about how children flourish when their individual abilities are seen and nurtured, I think something that makes our school special is choice time or open work time, which is something that we have from pre-K through 5th grade. And lots of times when parents start to hear about it, they're like, oh, so you have centers. It's not quite that. It's really the choice piece is extremely important, partly because navigating choice is an important thing to learn how to do. You know, your choice isn't available to you. How do you cope with that? Thinking about how you learn over time which activities, which materials are going to be interesting to the children in your classroom that particular year. So it's very common that from year to year, a teacher might provision for different choices because the kids are different from year to year. So this is just an example of a choice board from pre-K and another one from kindergarten, but you'll see similar choice boards all the way through 5th grade. And this is something we've continued in a different way during remote and hybrid learning. To also think about individual abilities and interests, we do make sure that we always have arts programming, pre-K through 5th grade, which includes music, it includes arts. It includes play. Recess and play are an important part, again, pre-K through 5th grade. We have some dance as well. Materials, hands-on materials for all learning. This is one of our little ones off to the right there, learning how to sew to make a stuffed animal. And really thinking about how you can help nurture all of that work towards more sort of process-oriented projects. This is a mobile on the left that was done by pre-K children, where they all put together their sewing projects into a tree branch that was hanging in the hallway. And off to the right, this is a culminating project. You can see there from a 3rd grade class, all the different ways that children are expressing their learning so that individual abilities can be expressed in a variety of ways. Another core belief is that social and emotional learning is just as important as academic learning. And we think about this in terms of focusing on community building. This is our entire community in Tompkins Square Park. We have weekly town meetings, and this particular one was a special event in the park. Another important part of our social and emotional learning focus is something that's called emotionally responsive practice. There's a BEAR curriculum that starts from pre-K and has gone as high as 2nd grade. We hope when we come back, we can continue to build on to 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But the BEARs are an important part of helping children learn how to express themselves, how to navigate challenges, difficulties. This is a pre-K child to the left who is talking to their bear to ask the bear what the name is. And off to the right, we have some 1st graders who are decorating and preparing the beds where their bears will live when they're resting in the classroom. Play is also an important part of social and emotional learning. These two images show how cooperation is such an important part of play. There's lots of language that happens around play. And again, these are practices all through 5th grade, though obviously in pre-K, there's particular attention to how play is the means for learning so much. I'm just thinking about all the science just in these 2 pictures. For the family teacher partnership as being essential, I'll be transitioning to Jocelyn in just a second. But this quote that I wanted to share really quickly from a parent of currently a kindergartner and a 4th grade student. I'll just read it aloud. At my first parent-teacher conference at the Earth School, the teachers started by showing me photos of my son working and telling me about his strengths. My son has special needs, and every conference I had had ever had before this was very focused on the deficits. They made me feel that they knew him really well and appreciated who he was and could build from there. This way of partnering with teachers has been so important to me and my son's education. So I'm going to hand it off to Jocelyn, who's going to talk a little bit more about our wonderful parent community, and Michelle will follow with a little bit more about the day-to-day in our pre-K.
Thank you, Claudia. Welcome, everyone. I'm Jocelyn. I'm the parent coordinator of the Earth School. And I just wanted to touch base a little bit on how important parents are part of our Earth School. So at the Earth School, it is very parent involved. If you're a parent that is looking for a school in which to be a part of, this is something that that's been a part of the Earth School tradition since I've been there, and my son went there 17 years ago. We have class parents, and they are a part, every classroom has a class parent, so you can sign up, and basically what that entails is helping the teacher with any classroom needs or getting in touch with families of your child's class to either come in and help out with going on trips, helping on the classroom. Another thing that we do is with parents is class breakfasts. So class breakfast, parents come in, they have a breakfast, and they also get to see their children, their children's work, and get to meet the other families of their children, their friends. You get to meet one another. So we do a lot of community work. We have an extremely strong PA, PTA, and SLT. They are very involved in the school and with decision makings for the most part. We have weekly, from your child's teacher, you will get a weekly email letting you know what's going on in the classroom, what kids are talking about, so that you can follow up and have conversations with them at home. It's an amazing, wonderful place. But can't wait, like someone else said, for COVID to be over and for us to get back to our community and to see everyone that we so care about. Thank you.
We'll hand it off to Michelle next.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Michelle Singh, and I am one of the pre-K teachers at the Earth School. So at the Earth School, the picture on the left is a picture of my classroom set up for the beginning of the year. And we set up our rooms really thoughtfully, thinking about how children navigate space, how much space they might need, and thinking about rest mat placements and how many children can work in each area. On the right, there is a mini town meeting. So the school has a whole town meeting, but that can be a little bit of a sensory overload for the youngest children. So we have it in my room, and all of the pre-K and K classes join together and we sing songs. And this is one way that we get to build community with one another. So our day-to-day life in pre-K starts off, like most other people have said, we start the day with a morning transition so that there are materials out on every table to help ease the transition to school. It can be very hard for young children to separate from their families and their grown-ups. So we allow them this time to settle in and get used to the space without having to say a rapid goodbye. So here we have some children painting a tulip that was in the classroom. We've got some other children building with materials, drawing, and we really value that transitional piece in the morning because it helps the children center themselves and be ready to partake in school, and it leads to a much smoother day. Afterwards, we have a morning meeting, we have a community snack, we are having read-alouds, we have our choice times, we have a 50-minute recess every day, and we usually go out, you know, in most weathers, except for icy conditions and rain, since playing in their gross motor is part of their work in pre-K. Here on the left, we have a child watering plants. We have classroom jobs to help build independence and autonomy within children, which is really important in pre-K. So here, his job is gardener, and he's taking care of the plants. We also have reading buddies, in which we partner with an older class, and they come and they read books to specific students. Everybody has a buddy. They create books together so that there are all forms of literacy happening during Reading Buddies. They're practicing conversational skills, and they're getting a chance to interact sometimes with their older siblings who might be in that class, which is really special. We have dance and music and art, and these are some photos of our children interacting with their art and their dance teachers. We think it's really important to make sure that all the children have an arts background and they get to express themselves in all kinds of ways, since the core of our work is social emotional learning. And we focus mostly and primarily on the whole child and incorporating all aspects of that. Like I said before, we really value recess and children getting out and being able to explore nature and move their body. And these are some photos of children playing hopscotch. And in the other photo, they're building a fairy house out of found materials from the park, engaging in dramatic play while playing outside in nature.
Thank you, Michelle. So just to finish up with some Earth School basics, we'll actually be celebrating our 30th anniversary next year. I was very excited when I realized that, preparing these slides. As I mentioned before, we're actually located in the same building as PS 64, Avenue B, between 4th and 6th, just a block away from Tompkins Square Park. And Tompkins Square Middle School is also in our building. Our enrollment in recent years has averaged 350 students total, pre-K through 5th, although this past year with COVID, we did see a decline in enrollment. And our classroom teachers have an average of 14 years of teaching experience. So those are just some basics. We imagine people will have more questions. We encourage people to reach out. Jocelyn at theearthschool.org is your best point of contact for more information. And we are scheduling some virtual open houses so for people who are interested in more information. And that's our presentation. I'll go ahead and stop sharing.
Thank you, Claudia. I saw in the chat that you'll be reaching out to certain families to contact for the virtual tours. Are there ways that the virtual tours will be shared publicly as well?
We'll be posting on our website as well.
Okay, great. Thank you. PS64, I know you answered this question a little bit in the chat, but can you tell us a little bit more about your educational philosophy and your approach to standardized testing?
Thank you. This will be a team answer here. So first, educational philosophy, I think it was begun to be answered in the chat room, but just one of the things that we believe at PS64 is that good teaching is interactive, and I learn from you, you learn from me, we learn from each other. If you visit PS64 on a typical day, you will see our students sitting in groups, talking to each other, and they know that before they even approach the teacher for assistance or for help answering a particular question or task or problem solving, they know they need to get together in their group and kind of discuss it and work it out amongst the team. So cooperative learning is very big at PS64. And I'll ask some members of the team if they'd like to add to that before we go into the testing question. Ms. Stone, I know you were answering in the chat room. If you want to add to that, feel free.
Sure. I think something else, there's so much to say, but I think something else that our teachers really strive to do is meet the needs of each individual child by differentiating instruction and tailoring the instruction to the needs of the students, individual students, as well as their interests. Every student is an individual and learns differently and enjoys learning about different things. And we tailor our instructions to meet the needs of each individual student.
Thank you. And with regards to testing, I didn't quite understand the question in the chat. I will say that we do not discourage testing. We welcome it. We believe it's a piece of data, and it's something that we prepare our students to do, to take the New York State ELA and MAP. We don't believe it should be the sole criteria to determine promotion to the next grade level or something that high stakes, but we do believe that the exams, any assessment, gives us information, and information is neither good nor bad. It's information. It tells us so much about a student, where the gaps in learning or gaps in the curriculum may be, so that we could tailor our instruction to meet those needs, as Ms. Stone mentioned earlier. So that's our, I guess, philosophy about testing. And how do we prepare our students? We prepare our students through what I'd like to say is a very rigorous educational experience daily. And when it comes time to take the exams, yes, we do some test sophistication to prepare our students for that day, that moment in their life. You know, it's different, it's unique. It's not a typical day in school when the students take the test. So it's more about teaching our students how to be a good test taker when they're called to take a test, which they will be called to take a test at some point in their lives. So we're preparing them for that skill, if you will, that they will most certainly need as they grow and get older. Anyone else? Ms. Stone, Mr. Arcangelo, would like to add to that?
And also, I think solid daily instruction just prepares our students for the state exams and beyond. We provide tailored small group instruction throughout the day based on the individual needs of our students. And that comes from just knowing our students extremely well so that we can provide our students exactly what they need.
And just let me add also, and the research is very clear on this, and all of our schools do this, you know, with the music and the arts and the song and the dance, that helps learning. I mean, it gets our kids to think. Math is used in dance and in music. The kids count, they read music. So it's to have that well-rounded curriculum and educational experiences contributes to academic achievement.
And in addition to our in-house music, art, and dance teachers that you've already met, we have a variety of community partnerships that are so special. Our first and second grade students participate in a partnership with the New York City Ballet. Our third grade students through the Junior League participate in an art program called Project Muse. Our fourth and fifth grade students are part of Rosie's Theater Kids and Dancing Classrooms, the ballroom dancing. Our K through 5 students participate in Cook Shop. So we have a variety of other enriching extracurricular activities that, like Mr. Hosang said, add to our instruction and our student success.
I like the idea of foreign language also. We should, someone asked a question about foreign language. We don't do that at 64, but it's something that we've talked about, and hopefully someday we're certainly open to it. I think it's great, a great idea.
So foreign language is a question that has come up during all 4 nights. We do have in our elementary schools, foreign language is primarily offered at our schools that have dual language programming. So those schools are 184, PS 20. And I know I'm missing someone.
Schwing 188.
184, I said.
And 188 for
It
Spanish.
is 188. I just wasn't 100% sure. Okay, so those are really where we have those offerings. There was a question
34, sorry, Christine, and 34 offers Mandarin.
in middle school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So not in the early childhood, but we went over the virtual tours at Earth School. There was a question about PS 15 class size, which Principal Sanchez answered pretty thoroughly in the chat. I'm going to ask, I don't see any other questions in the chat. I'm going to ask our translation lines if there are any questions.
There's no questions in the Spanish line.
Thank you.
There's no question on the Mandarin line either. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. It's also come up, the question about their recordings. The recordings will be up shortly. Our our website manager has a couple of days off. So we're trying to get them up as quickly as we can so that they are accessible to everyone. If there are no more questions, I'm going to start thanking everyone for their time tonight. Thank you to Translation and Interpretation who have been here with us for 4 nights. The Office of Enrollment who has been here with us for 4 nights. Our principals and the school teams who so many of you came on to support your schools, and we want to thank you for that. And then of course our families. Some of you have been with us for 4 nights and just taking time to learn about all of our schools. We know even 10 minutes wasn't enough, so we knew we had to spread it out across the week. And so we thank everyone who came on and who really wanted to learn about our schools and is thinking about joining our schools. We would love to have you with us in District 1. And we appreciate you again joining us. Okay, I'm not seeing any last minute questions. Each night we've gotten kind of a last minute question while we were closing out, but I don't see anyone. You can certainly reach out to us on the district website. Our contact information is there for the district team, for individual schools. Please do so, don't hesitate. And we can always set up tours. Thank you. Have a good
Thank
night.
you. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Night.
Night, thank you.
Night.